Doing a quick recap of our first video, we looked at the intensity of Ravana's mad devotion that led him to compose this divine work of unparalleled beauty, both in terms of sound and meaning. We understood the poetic meter of this composition, the unique methodology in which we can decode the complex word structures of this work in order to grasp their meanings easily, and how this methodology can be applied to the first shloka. In this video, we'll move forward and understand the next 3 shlokas using this very same process. Please make sure that you watch the first video if you haven't watched it already. As usual, you can click on these timestamps in the description below to rewatch or skip specific segments of this video. The Sanskrit channel is an effort to explore a vast variety of topics from original Sanskrit literature. If you wish to support this effort, consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon or make a one-time contribution through these options. Your support will help us create more of these videos more frequently on more number of topics. Do check out all the links in the description below. Let us first learn to chant the second shloka correctly without any mispronunciations. As we chant it, see if you can identify the key phrases that depict the main idea conveyed in this shloka. Jata kataha sambhrama brahman nilimpa nirjhari vilola vichi vallari virajamana murdhani dhagad dhagad dhagajvalal lalata patta pavake kishora chandrashekhare ratih pratikshanam mama. The layer-wise split of this shloka using the methodology we discussed in the previous video is something like this. We see that there is only one main idea being conveyed in this shloka, which is Mama Pratikshanam Ratihi. I find eternal pleasure. Where does Ravana say he finds this eternal pleasure? As you rightly guessed, that is mentioned in the sub-layers of this arrangement. There are 3 sub-layers that are associated with the main idea. So we'll understand them one by one while keeping the meaning of the parent layer still in our minds. I find eternal pleasure Kishora Chandrashekhare, in the newborn moon on top of Lord Shiva's head. Coming to the second layer, I find eternal pleasure Lalata Patta Pavake, in the fire on the surface of Lord Shiva's forehead. Here the word Pavaka means fire, which literally means the purifier. Lalata is forehead and Patta is the surface. We also see that there is one more sub-layer to this phrase. This is an adjective that adds further meaning to its parent layer. How is the fire on the surface of Lord Shiva's forehead? Dhagad 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 jvalat. It shines bright with enormous brilliance. So putting it all together, the meaning of this subsection is I find eternal pleasure in the brilliant blazing fire on the surface of Lord Shiva's forehead. This depicts his fully awakened third eye or the Agnya Chakra. Now coming to the third layer, again I find eternal pleasure Murdhani, in Lord Shiva's crown or the top of his head. What is on top of his head? Vilola Vichi Vallari Virajamana. The top of his head is the abode of the trembling ripples that are trickling down. The ripples of what? Nilimpa Nirjhari, the ripples of the river of the celestial beings, the Ganga. Why is it spilling? Sambhrama Brahmat, because it is swirling around in a frenzy. Where is it swirling around in a frenzy and why is it doing so? Jata Kataha. It is doing so because it resides within the container made up of the locks of hair of Shiva, who is performing the Tandava. If you thought the compound word in the first shloka was long, check this out. Jata Kataha Sambhrama Brahman Nilimpa Nirjhari Vilola Vichi Vallari Virajamana Murdhani is actually one single word. The whole of the first 2 lines of the shloka is a single word, which means in the crown of Lord Shiva's head, which is the abode of the spilling ripples of the divine river, which is swirling around in a frenzy within the container of his matted locks of hair. Putting the key phrase and all its 3 supporting descriptions together, the meaning of this entire shloka is I find eternal pleasure in the newborn moon on top of Lord Shiva's head, in the fire on the surface of his forehead that shines bright with enormous radiance, and in the area on top of his head where the divine river Ganga is contained within the matted locks of hair, with its waters trembling, swirling around and trickling down as he performs his Tandava. I hope you got the complete meaning of this second shloka of Shiva Tandava Stotram. Let us now chant the shloka together as we identify these layered patterns within the shloka and relish its beauty both in terms of sound and meaning. Jata kataha sambhrama brahman nilimpa nirjhari vilola vichi vallari virajamana murdhani dhagad dhagad dhagajvalal lalata patta pavake kishora chandrashekhare ratih pratikshanam mama. Now let's move on to the third shloka of Shivatandava Stotram. Dharadharendra Nandini Vilasa Bandhu Bandhuraspurad Diganta Santati Pramodamana Manase Kripa Kataksha Dhorani Niruddha Durdharapadi Kvachit Digambare Mano Vinodam Etu Vastuni. The layer-wise arrangement of this shloka is something like this. We see that even here there is only one key idea being conveyed. Mano Vinodam Etu Vastuni. May my mind find joy in the following things. Here, Ravana expresses a wish that his mind find joy in a series of things which are mentioned in these three sub-layers. The first of them is Kvachit Digambare, in his so-called clothing, which is the very vastness of all the directions. This both depicts Lord Shiva as an ascetic who is not given to the needs of covering up in shame, and also the vast emptiness of the universe which Shivatva stands for. The emptiness that is spread infinitely in all directions. In order to understand the second sublayer, we again keep the meaning of the parent layer in mind. May my mind find joy in the following things. This time, Ravana says, Durdhara Apadi, in the most unbearable of troubles. How could he find joy in the most unbearable of troubles? Because they are Niruddha. They have been stopped. How have they been stopped? Kripa Kataksha Dhorani. They have been stopped by the grace of his compassionate glance. Notice again that this whole line is one single word, Kripa Kataksha Dhorani Niruddha Durdharapadi, which means in the most unbearable of troubles that have been stopped by the grace of his compassionate glance. Moving on to the third sublayer, may my mind find joy in the following things. This time Ravana says Manase, in the state of mind. In what state of mind? Pramodamana Manase, in the state of mind that rejoices. This word again has two sublayers which describe it further. How does this mind rejoice? Bandhura Sphurat. Its joy resembles strong ripples. Diganta Santati, which spread until the end of all directions. Whose state of mind is this? Vilasa Bandhu. It is the state of mind of the dance partner. Whose dance partner? Dharadharendra Nandini, the dance partner of the daughter of the King of Mountains. Again, Dharadharendra Nandini Vilasa Bandhu Bandhurasphurat Diganta Santati Pramodamana Manase is one single compound word which means in the mind which rejoices by being the dance partner of the daughter of the King of Mountains, Devi Parvati, with its joy resembling strong ripples that spread until the end of all directions. Let us now look at the meaning of the complete shloka by combining the meanings of all the layers together. May my mind find joy in the so-called clothing of Lord Shiva, which is open to all directions, in the most unbearable of troubles that have been stopped by the grace of his compassionate glance, and in his joyful state of mind, which resembles strong ripples that spread until the end of all directions, which is joyful by being the dance partner of Devi Parvati, the daughter of the King of Mountains. I hope this description painted a clear picture in your mind of what Ravana wanted to describe through this shloka. Let us now chant this shloka together again as we relish its lyrical beauty along with its richness of sound. Dharadharendra Nandini Vilasa Bandhu Bandhurasphurat Diganta Santati Pramodamana Manase Kripa Kataksha Dhorani Niruddha Durdharapadi Kvachit Digambare Mano Vinodam Etu Vastuni. Let us now learn to chant the fourth shloka of Shivatandava Stotram with the help of a line guide. Jata Bhujanga Pingala Sphurat Phana Mani Prabha Kadamba Kunkuma Drava Pralipta Digvadhu Mukhe Madanda Sindhura Sphuratva Guttariya Medure Mano Vinoda Madbhutam Bibhartu Bhuta Bhartari. The layer-wise arrangement of this shloka is like this. There is again only one main idea being conveyed in the entire shloka. Mano Adbhutam Vinodam Bibhartu. May my mind hold wondrous joy. The next three sublayers of this parent layer tell us on which things Ravana wishes to hold his mind and find wondrous joy. The first of them is Bhuta Bhartari, the one who sustains all of creation. Coming to the second sublayer, with the meaning of the parent layer still in our minds, may my mind hold wondrous joy, Medure, in the softness. The softness of what? Sphurat Tvak Uttariya, the softness of the shining garments made of skin. The skin of what? Madanda Sindhura, the skin of the intoxicated wild elephant. Moving on to the third layer, may my mind hold wondrous joy, Mukhe, in the face. In whose face? Dik Vadhu, in the face of a bride who is an embodiment of all the directions. Here, Ravana is comparing all the directions to a bride and says, may his mind find joy by looking at that bride's face. How is the face of that bride? Kunkumadrava Pralipta. It appears to be smeared by a streak of flowing kunkuma. Why do these directions appear to be smeared by kunkuma? Pingala Sphurat Phanamani Prabha Kadamba. Because of the multitude of copper-like streaks of light that are emanating from the jewels on top of the hoods. On the hoods of what? Jata Bhujanga, of the hoods of the snakes that are on top of Lord Shiva's matted hair. In this third subsection, Ravana says, as Lord Shiva is performing a fierce and rapid dance, the snakes on top of his matted locks of hair are also swaying in a frenzy. As they sway rapidly, the jewels on top of their heads, which are of copper color, are throwing streaks of reddish light in all directions. This phenomenon is making the directions resemble a bride whose face is decorated by a streak of vermilion or kunkumadrava. Once again, notice that this entire idea is conveyed in one big compound word which spans the entirety of the first two lines. Jata Bhujanga Pingala Sphurat Phanamani Prabha Kadamba Kunkumadrava Pralipta Digvadhu Mukhe is one single word. Let us now try and understand the meaning of the entire shloka by bringing the individual layer meanings together. In this shloka, Ravana says, may my mind hold wondrous joy in the sustainer of all creations, in the softness of the shining garments made out of the skin of intoxicated wild elephants, and in the streaks of light emanating from the jewels on top of the hoods of snakes decorating Lord Shiva's head, which are falling on all directions, making them look like a bride's face adorned in kunkuma. If you are an artist who can sketch these descriptions into an artwork, please send them to us at thesanskritchannel@gmail.com. These could help us all visualize the poetic descriptions of Shiva Tandava Stotram in a better way. Let us now chant the fourth shloka of Shiva Tandava Stotram with its word-by-word meaning at the back of our minds. Jata Bhujanga Pingala Sphurat Phanamani Prabha Kadamba Kunkuma Drava Pralipta Digvadhu Mukhe Madanda Sindhura Sphuratva Guttariya Medure Mano Vinoda Madbhutam Bibhartu Bhuta Bhartari. Now, despite understanding these shlokas in so much detail, trust me when I say that more than half of the beauty of this poetic work is lost due to these English translations. There is so much more nuance behind the choice of each specific word in this composition. One can either keep talking about it in other languages for hours together, or just imbibe the essence of this Sanskrit work and dissolve into its poetic beauty in an instant. Translations into local Indian languages retain a little more of the original poetic beauty, but the best way to relish it is, of course, by direct understanding in Sanskrit. Having said that, I truly hope that you enjoyed watching this video and found it useful. Share it across with those whom you think might benefit from this. If you wish to support the production of more videos like these, consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon or make a one-time contribution all through the links in the description below. Also, consider subscribing to the Sanskrit channel where we explore hidden gems in the vast world of diverse Sanskrit literature. See you in the next video. Namaskaram.